Creative content, global audience.
My name is Patience OKOSUN, and you're watching the show, The State of the Nation. You know how we do it every Monday on the show. We come here to talk about things affecting our country, affecting our nation. It could be agriculture, it could be weather, it could be politics, it could be anything. We just come here to discuss, to dissect, to analyze, and to give our own opinion about the issues affecting Nigeria as a nation. My name once again is Patience OKOSUN. You're welcome on the show, State of the Nation. Today we'll be talking about corruption. Of course, we know, we all can tell how corruption has eaten deep into our economy, into our system as a country. So I feel the need, I think it's time we talk about this issue, corruption. First and foremost, what is corruption? Corruption is defined as the abuse of entrusted power for private gain. Yes. Now, the definition is clear. It's the abuse of power for our own private, our own selfish gain. That's corruption. Corruption has eaten deep into our economy. A whole lot of things are happening. As Nigerians, how would you rate Nigeria and corruption? Where will you place Nigeria and corruption? Corruption is something we really need to work on in this country for every sector, starting from the economy, our economy. How deep has corruption eaten into our economy? Talking about our agriculture, how deep has corruption, our academy, our environment, ourselves, our politics, how deep has this corruption eaten into our system? That's why we're here today to discuss about this issue. The number to call is on your screen. Call me. Tell me, what do you think? Do you think corruption is something that one day you wake up as a Nigerian, you wake up and you just find out that everything is good, there is no atom of corruption in the state again? Or do you think it's very possible? Do you think it is possible for corruption to be evacuated? Yes, let me use that word. Or it's not possible, but rather we can manage the system. What do you think? How do you think we can prevent corruption from eating deep more into our system? And what are the ways we practice this corruption of a thing? Well, I think most of the people out there have this mentality. When we talk about corruption, they just feel that it's only attached to politics. Now, when I talk about corruption, people just think it's the political leaders up there that we're talking about. It's corruption. How does corruption involve you and I? These are things we'll be treating in the show today. We're talking about corruption. How deep has it eaten into our system? And then earlier I defined corruption. What are the types of corruption? Of course, we have bribery. Yes, a situation where you get to give money, where you get to give something to get something you did not earn, something you did not merit. You had to give, you had to bribe someone to get that thing in expense of another person. Now, that thing you bribed for, probably it's not yours. It's supposed to be for someone else, but then you had to bribe it, depriving that person, the other person, the privilege to get that thing he or she is actually merited, but then you bribe your way into getting to that point or into getting that stuff. And this is corruption. Is a very bad one. I think this bribing is something that has really eaten deep into every sector of our system as a Nigerian. When we talk about the security sector, you hear that people bribe our securities out there to get their way, and which is not supposed to be so. Bribing is something we need to really work on as a Nigerian to stop. We need to stop bribing by all means. We need to stop it in every sector of our system of Nigerian as a country. We also have a case of electoral fraud. Of course, we just finished 2023 election, starting from presidential, governorship, senatorial, House of Rep elections. We've had a lot of election over, done and dusted. Yet, can we beat our chest as Nigerians that this election that was concluded was corruption-free? What do you have to say about it? Now, the politics is a very important sector of our country, because these are our leaders. These are people that lead us, and we are not supposed to give them power via corruption in any way. Yes, we need to make sure that they really want that position, they really want that power, they really want that thing they are coming out for. So that's when we talk about types of corruption, talk about bribing, talk about electoral fraud, and then talk about embezzlement. You embezzle people, you cheat people, and it's really something we need to stop as a country. You cheat people. And then corruption, we also have kickback. Those are types of corruption that we have here today. What other type of corruption would you think of? There's so many of them, etc., out there. There are ways in which people practice this corruption, and it's really eating deep. It's affecting our nation, and I feel it's time we talk about it. And later on in the show, I'll be bringing in a guest that will analyze more on this topic today, corruption. And then we get to ask more questions. We get to unleash a lot of things here today concerning the topic corruption. I feel we really need to. Nigeria is becoming something else because of this corruption. And then when we talk about causes of corruption, why do people even get into it? Why do people even practice corruption? Why don't we just live a life corruption free? Yes, if you merit it, you merit it. If you don't, you know. Why must you get involved in corruption to get something, or to do something, or to get something done in your own way? Those are the questions. Those are the questions we'll be asking ourselves today, and we're analyzing it also. Now, one of the reasons why people get into corruption is greed. Now you don't want another person to get the thing, you want to get it, and then you go extra mile, you go through any means to make sure that that thing is yours and nobody else. That is greed of money, desires. That's one of the reasons why people practice corruption. Yes, and then we have higher level. People just want to, nobody wants to be on the floor, nobody wants to answer yes sir, nobody wants to answer yes ma'am, to everybody wants to be at the top. But then forgetting that this life is actually a stage, is a step-by-step procedures. And these are the reasons why people practice corruption. And then we also have low press freedom. Low press freedom. I think the press should be given more freedom to be able to speak out. The press is the fourth wall, if you ask me, and then they are the mouthpiece of the people. And now, once the press are limited, you just find out that people just do whatever they do, and nobody comes out to say it. The press are supposed to be the body that comes out to say what, to hold people accountable for their actions, for their words. And so, once the press are not free to do their work, corruption becomes the order of the day. So I feel like we need to find a way to allow the press carry out their responsibility free and fair without any form of corruption. And then we'll talk about low economic freedom. This thing is also eating deep into our economy, and we need to work on it. These are the causes. These are the reasons why people practice corruption. And so before I call in our guests, let's talk further. If you have any contribution, you want to say something, you want to ask me, I'm asking you out there watching me right now, what do you think? How do you think Nigeria can move away from this corrupt system? How do you think we can move to a better one? Call in and share your idea. How do you think corruption can be evacuated? How do you think we can live in this country and beat our chest that Nigeria is corruption free? Now, I have a research here that says it is crystal clear that the rate of corruption in Nigeria is alarming. Yes, uncalled for and absolutely abysmal. It has actually affected every aspect of public life, business, investment, standard of living. It comes in different forms like petty bribery, like I said earlier, contract fraud, money laundering, collecting salaries of other workers, and illegal securing government jobs for family members and cronies. Yes, these are corrupt practices. Now you find out that a lot of youth are out there looking for job just because there's this mentality: if you know no man, you will not get there. Who know man, I ain't they go there. But then it's not supposed to be so. Now, when you graduate from school, when you go through the necessary procedures, finish your NYC, when you go out there with your certificate, it should be easier for you to get job. But due to the act of corruption, due to corruption, people no longer give people job that really worth it. Now, if it's not your family member, if he or she is not your friend, if he or she is not related to you, you don't get to give them this job. This is actually a very corruptible act that we need to work on in this country. And so we also have things like corruption is an epidemic that has eaten deep into the fabric of the Nigerian society. Over the years, billions of dollars has been stolen from various sectors of Nigerian economy, which include petroleum industry, trade and investment, agriculture, banking, and every other sector and power sector. The issue of corruption cuts across the entire nation. There are cases of corruption in the Nigeria police force. Now, it's very, very pathetic to think that the police, the force, the people that are supposed to watch over the safety of the citizen, to watch over the good of the nation, are also involved in corruption. Then how then are we going to receive? How then are we going to live with a peaceful mind, knowing that there are people out there watching over us? Yes, some persons will say God is the ultimate. Yes, God is the ultimate, but then God uses people. God uses people to reach out to people. The security agencies are the people that God is using to watch over Nigerian as a nation. They are not meant to be involved in corruption. So I feel like we really need to work on our force agencies, on our security agencies, to see that this act is being stopped in corruption actually. And then we also have in the Nigeria police force educational institution. Now people go to school, they no longer want to attend classes, they no longer do the needful because they know they can pay their way out of school. At the end of the day, you see them coming out with second class upper, you see them coming out with first class, but whereas when you ask them one or two questions, they have nothing to show for it. But because of corruption, they pay their way through the school. It's really something we need to look into in our Nigeria institution, political institution, health, humanitarian, and many other sectors. We need to watch out for this thing, this cankerworm that is eating deep into our system, Nigeria. In 2018, Nigeria was ranked as the 36th most corrupt country in the world by Transparency International. It is shocking to note that in 2020, during the 2 weeks lockdown in Nigeria due to corona pandemic, billions of naira was spent to feed school children in the northern states when schools were shut down. This is high level of corruption. Actually, yes, school was shut down. So where was these billions of naira sent to? Children were actually at home. So I get to wonder, if billions of naira was sent to schools while schools were on shut down, how? This is corruption. This is something that is really, really eating up our system, and we need to find a way to stop. We need to find a way to stop it by all means. Now, there is this mentality I said earlier. People think that when you talk about corruption, you talk about politicians. You and I can be involved in corruption. Yes, it can involve a private individual. You can actually be corrupt. The next person next to you is corrupt. How do you get involved in corruption? You are also involved in bribery. You're also involved in illegal acts. You're also involved in cyber thefts. You're there. You're doing it. Those things are corrupt actions. And so you don't just put corruption on the politicians alone. How does corruption affect the environment? Lack of integrity. Now, when you're corrupt, people don't get to trust you. People cannot take your word serious, and that's when you get to lose your integrity and corrodes the effects of environmental policies and thus diminishes efforts to slow down global warming. Actually, these are things that affect our country a lot, and we need to see that this thing is tackled. Why do we need to stop corruption? Now, before I call in our guests, let me say this. I'll come back with more of tips on how we can live, how we can fight corruption. Why do we need to stop corruption? Corruption is wasting our public resources and money. That's one reason why we need to stop it. Now we spend money in places that we're not meant to spend money. Money are going to the wrong channels. The resources are going to the wrong places, causing injustice through advantaging some of the expense of others. Yes, inefficiency in operation, reputational damage which make it difficult to recruit and retain quality staff, obtain best value in tender processing. Now these are the reasons why we need to stop corruption. The right people will be in the right place, the right things will be done the right way, and things will move smoothly. We just discover that our economy will keep developing, things will keep moving well, people will be happy, youths will be happy because they are getting the right thing they are meant to get. But because of corruption causes more poverty. Now the level of poverty in our country is high. It's due to corruption. We need to find a way to fight this corruption. The level of poverty is high. Corruption is causing a lot of damages in our home, in our personal life. Now, because you feel the system is corrupt, people to believe that you can do this thing, you're not just talking. Now you need to keep your integrity. People are watching. When you think nobody is watching, people are really observing you. People are seeing how you behave, how you act. Are you corrupt? Are you corruptible? Or are you the kind of person that people will say, stay away from that person, he or she will corrupt you? Now you don't need to follow suit. People say if you cannot beat them, join them. You must not join them. You can stand, one man standing. You can stand on your own. I do not want to be corrupt. I want to see that Nigeria becomes great again. I want to see that Nigeria becomes a good nation again. I want to see that Nigeria moves to a better place. It can start from you. Change can actually start from you. You must not wait for a crowd. You must not wait to pull crowd. Just you alone, standing on yourself, telling yourself, I will not do what these other persons are doing. Before you know, one more person will join you. Before you know, another will join you, and then before you're pulling crowd already. So you need to find a way. We need to find a way to put a stop to corruption. Now, before I started, I said I was going to bring in a guest. Yes, I'll bring in a guest. But before I bring in the guest, I'll quickly take a break. When I come back, I'll be coming back with a guest that will talk more on how we can fight corruption as a nation. Just stay with me.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of art, national cash crops, financial products and services, and real estate. For huge extra opportunity in diaspora, look no further. The 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15 to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619.
Ladies, are you ready to shine? Here's a golden opportunity for you to show the world the queen in you, as the second edition of Face of SRTV Ladies Edition is about to begin. What are you waiting for? Register online with just 500 naira and stand a chance of winning a cash prize of 100,000 naira and the deal of becoming our ambassador. There will also be consolation prizes for second and third place winners. To register, kindly pay the registration fee and send your name, age, picture, and state of origin to this number 0906 895 2170. For more inquiries, please call 0907 400 7816. Powered by SRTV London. the face of SRTV, who takes the crown.
Very quick break. Like I said, we're talking about corruption today, and I've said a whole lot. I've defined what corruption means. I've talked about the types of corruption we have, and like before I took that break, I said I will bring in my guest who will be asking a whole lot of questions today, and of course he's here with me. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. You're live on air. Okay, I'm talking to Mr. Abraham Ochido, a security consultant / professional. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. And you?
I'm fine, sir. Okay, sir, we're talking about corruption today. So before I move forward, what do you have to say? How do you see corruption in Nigeria? How do you see corruption eating our system?
Well, corruption.
Hello, sir. Hello, can you hear me? Okay,
I can hear you.
Okay, sir. I said, how do you?
I
Yes.
said corruption is at the epidemic stage now in Nigeria.
Okay.
And, we need to do something drastic about it.
Okay.
The funny thing about corruption is that people think corruption is only about
Politics.
accepting money or giving enough money,
Okay.
which is not true.
Yes, sir. Okay, so what other ways do you think corruption can be done aside from accepting and giving of money?
Well, you see, corruption itself, if you look at what is corruption, you will see that if you are dishonest, you are corrupt.
I am corrupt?
I said if someone is dishonest,
Yes.
corrupt.
Yes, sir.
I'm not saying you as a person.
Okay, yes,
If
sir.
someone is dishonest, it means the person is corrupt.
Yes, sir.
And how many honest people do we have around in Nigeria now, in our country? How honest are we to ourselves, to our community, to our environment, to the government, and the government officials to the people? Do you understand now?
Yes,
So,
sir.
corruption is so deep-rooted in Nigeria that it will take the government policy and a lot of hard work for us to mitigate against it or complete. I don't think we can eradicate corruption.
You don't think we can eradicate corruption?
No.
So you don't see Nigeria being corrupt-free tomorrow?
Say again?
That means you don't believe Nigeria can be corrupt-free tomorrow?
There's no corrupt-free society in the world. That's the truth.
Okay.
It's just that in some countries, give me any country you want to talk about, there are corruptions everywhere.
Okay.
It's as simple as age falsification is corruption. I hope you know that.
Yes, sir.
So when you are dishonest, you are corrupt. Is there any society in the world that is 100% honest?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir, you...
What people do, why we complain about corruption in Nigeria is that people tend to carry out corruption with impunity in Nigeria. Even if you are caught, there's little or no consequences. That's why we're complaining in Nigeria. If not, there is corruption all over the world. But in Western world, the other part of the world, if you are caught, you go in for it. You face the music. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you're a security person. So how do you see this corruption eating into Nigeria's security system? Talking about the security system now.
Wow. Well, in corruption in security system, before we talk about the security system, let's start from the political aspect of Nigeria.
Okay, sir, I'm all ears.
Do you understand? Now, the political corruption in Nigeria is massive. Look at the last general election.
Yes, sir.
The last election we did in this country. Something as simple and as easy as election. We cannot conduct a corrupt-free election. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
It starts from, and the chain continues. The chain continues. I saw some pictures, or I saw some videos, and I heard some aspect of the news where even security personnel are used for the political corruption. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Some officers, we saw some video of policemen
Collecting. Yes, sir. Okay.
So you understand? But in the security sector, mind you, Nigeria as a country, in whatever sector you want to look at corruption, except we change ourselves, we change our attitude, we begin to look inward within ourselves. Don't blame the third party. Look at yourself. Then you can correct it.
Okay.
If you decide to be honest, you understand? Then that is the first step to combating corruption.
Okay.
In the security system, just like any other system in Nigeria, the system is also corrupt. Very corrupt.
Is there no way we can in the security system? What are the ways we can reduce the corruption going on there? How do you think we can reduce corrupt practices? Yes.
Corruption in the security system is, people have to speak up. Even the security personnel themselves, they have to be honest and they have to speak up. There's this saying: if you see something, you say something.
You say something, yes, sir.
If you see something, you say something. If you just keep quiet about the corruption, you're not necessarily reporting somebody. If you see your colleague doing something that is wrong, why you can correct him. You can correct that person. Say, oh boy, this one is wrong. Don't do this, don't do that. You understand that this is the first step. You speak out.
Okay.
Then you expose. When you speak out and the person is not taking correction, then you can report. That is exposing the person. You can expose.
Okay.
And our judicial system too can help so that they will not delay the process.
Okay.
Let it not be unnecessarily delayed. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so when somebody's okay, what you're trying to say is when someone is caught in the corrupt act, there should be a penalty immediately.
The time frame, you see, our legal system, I don't know, maybe because we have so many cases on ground and few judges trying a lot of cases, but the process is too slow. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, sir.
The process is too slow.
Okay, sir. So, sir, what do you think are the causes? Why do you think people go into this corrupt act? Because the rate of corruption in Nigeria is alarming. So, why do you think people are being corrupt?
Yeah, people are corrupt because for so many reasons. Some is poverty. But I don't think poverty can lead you to go and do what you don't want to do. Do you understand? Some people will give you an excuse that they need money, they are poor. Some people, and if you are poor, corruption will make you poorer. You think you have defrauded somebody or the system to make money, but somehow you are damaging the system too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Okay. We've been coming away out of corruption right now, moving away out of corruption. Lately, we've been having a lot of insecurity issues from Benue State, Kano. You're a security consultant, so I thought of asking you, what do you think is the problem? Why the much insecurity challenge in the country today?
Please come again with the question. The network was bad.
Okay, sir. I said moving away from corruption today. Since you're a security person, I thought of asking you that lately we've been reporting a lot of insecurity issues, right from Benue State, Kano, Kaduna, a lot of insecurity issues on ground. Who do you think should be blamed? What's really the problem? As a security person that you are, why do you think we have such a problem?
The willpower. The problem is the willpower.
Okay, what is the willpower?
The government, what I mean by willpower, maybe the political will, the economic will,
Okay.
the security will, the military will to end this, what do I call it? I don't want to use, since you say I'm on there, I don't want to use certain words now, to end this madness going on in Nigeria.
Okay.
It's unnecessary. Look at the way they are killing people everywhere in Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
Well, the outgoing government have tried their best, but it's just that it's unfortunate that their best is not good enough. Let's see what the incoming government will do. Let's see the policy they are going to bring. The outgoing government, they've claimed they've done a lot and they've tried their best in their own way, but their best is not good enough. So let's see what the incoming government will say. If maybe they have the power, the will to end it. It's just the will.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
We're not in war in Nigeria yet. Look at Ukraine. Even in Ukraine, that they're in war with Russia. They don't have people like that.
Yes. And so the way we report killing every day is...
Look at Sudan. Sudan is a full-blown war. But compare the rate of people that died in Sudan and people that are dying in Nigeria. So what are we talking about? So I just feel, for me personally, I feel it's the willpower of the government.
Okay.
That's the same thing, the corruption I'm talking about.
Okay.
Mr. A will commit an offense. You handle him with kid glove. Mr. B will commit.
But then, in the news the other day, I read in the news the other day by the president, Muhammadu Buhari. He said under his watch, 60,000 soldiers were recruited into the army segment. So we're asking why, if he was able to recruit such a large number of people into the army, and then so much insecurity in the country, are we to blame the army? Are we supposed to blame the security personnel that they are not carrying out their duties well, or the government, just like you said?
Well, if you recruit 60,000 soldiers, and you give them, what are you giving them to go and execute to fight the bandits and the terrorists? This is the kind of weapon those people are carrying. When the Kaduna plane, when they delayed the Kaduna train, a train going to Kaduna, I think that was last year, and they kidnapped so many people. See the kind of weapon they use there. When Kuje prison was attacked here, see the kind of weapon they use there. So what are you giving the army? You recruited 60,000 people to go and fight them with their bare hands or what? That is what corruption is doing to us. Do you understand where I'm coming from at all?
Yes, sir.
What I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
That is what corruption is doing to us. We cannot just be lackadaisical about the truth or hide under one finger and expect miracle to happen. You know, Nigeria, we pray a lot. We believe in miracle a lot. But miracle don't just happen like that.
Okay.
You have to walk your way. You have to work for it. You have to get, I believe they know what they are doing. But just that they don't want to do the right thing.
Okay.
Let's see the incoming government, what they have to offer.
We hope that the incoming government will do something. Just before I let you go, sir, what are your words to Nigerians out there? How do you think they can live without being involved in this corruption practice? What are your final words to Nigerians out there?
My advice to everybody is just to keep hope alive, keep the faith, get something doing, something honest. You don't necessarily need billions of naira, or you don't have to have millions of naira to be happy. Money is not even happiness in the first place. That's why we are getting it wrong in Nigeria. The youth of these days, all they want is money, but they don't even want to work for the money. They don't want to go through the process of making the money. You understand?
Yes,
So
sir.
let's be hopeful and believing that everything will be fine. It's a matter of time.
Okay, sir.
I believe strongly in Nigeria, and I believe that Nigeria will come back to our feet and will find our way again.
Okay, thank you very much for joining me in the show today, sir. I really do appreciate you.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir. I hope we'll have you again next time, sir.
No problem.
All right, thank you very much. Do have a nice day out there, sir.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye, sir. Okay, I've been on the phone with Mr. Abraham Ochigbo, a security consultant / professional. Actually, he had said it all. There's something he said I love so much. He said that initially, I think I've said that before he even said it, corruption is not just the people in politics, the people in power. Corruption also can be from you and I. So, like I said, change can actually start from you and I, ordinary you and I. I know you'll be saying out there, who am I? Who am I that if I commit this, people will not know? But then that thing you commit is actually affecting another person somewhere, and then this thing just keep worsening the situation of the country. You can actually make a difference. You can make a difference wherever you are. You can make a difference. So that's why we're talking about corruption. Corruption also affects human rights. How does it affect human rights? Yes, I would say corruption affects human rights. How does corruption affect human rights? Corruption affects human rights both directly and indirectly. For example, corruption is in the justice system compromises judicial independence and violates the right of a fair trial. Yes, Now, because you have a case, let me paint a scenario. You have a case where you're dragging for a land which actually by rights that land belongs to your brother or your neighbor. But because you feel you have the money, you feel you can oppress the rights of that person, you feel you can take it away from that person forcefully, you're well to do and that person is not, you go to the courts and bribe the judicials. And now, instead of the case to be free and fair, you just step or you just oppress the rights of that person and you take away his or her belonging by force. Now, those things are things that breaks, that affect us, our environment, our economy, our agriculture, our politics, everything you can think about, every sector you can think about. This corruption is like a worm, like a canker worm, like I used to say, eating deep into it. Then we get to ask, how do we fight corruption? Somebody is saying, Pat, you've been talking. Tell us, how do you think you can fight corruption out there? Now, these are the ways I feel we can fight corruption. Before I proceed, let me take this as one of my needs. We have these anti-corruption agencies. Yes, these anti-corruption agencies such as the EFCC, ICPC should be allowed to operate the way they see fit, they think fit actually, and no corrupt leader should be shielded. These are things we need to fight. Once you see a corrupt leader, speak up. If you cannot speak up, tell somebody to speak up. There's someone out there who is bold enough. If you feel you're not bold enough, tell somebody, I know this person, he or she is corrupt. He or she cannot be our leader. They shouldn't be shielded. Neither should any of their officers be exempted from facing the law when they are found culpable. Yes, once anybody is caught in the act, everybody around him who saw that act should not be exempted. Actually, the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, and the Independent Corrupt Parties and Related Offences Commission, ICPC, all such agencies should be headed by men and women of proven integrity who will not compromise standard or act corruptly themselves. Now, you see, those are things, integrity really matters. Don't join them. If you cannot beat them, don't join them. This is not right. You can stand on your own and just be your own, do the right thing all by yourself. Actually, we also have the public opinion leaders. Now, aside from the agencies, we have the public opinion leaders, and they are citizens who stand for the common good of the country and speak against the ills of the society. These are people who stand for the good of the society. They should not relent on their efforts and should be protected by law. The press should be given unfettered freedom to practice their profession in accordance to the law. The press should not fail to publish the opinion of the public in the mass media. Those are things we've been doing. We take our camera, we go out there, we want to hear what the people are saying because we want to know how they feel. That's the responsibility of every press. When you see us on the streets, of course we do go to the streets. We want to hear your opinion. We want to know how you feel about some certain issues happening in the society. So the press should be given their unlimited freedom to carry out their responsibility free and fair. And so talking about the security organization, the police, the SSS, and other security agencies should be given specialized training on how to detect crimes and fish out criminals of all descriptions, whether terrorists, suicide bombers, militants, armed robbers, kidnappers, etc., and bring them to face the law. It is very important that these are security agencies. They should be given proper training. They should know. They should be able to detect. They should be able to sense that this person, even before the person carries out that corrupt attitude, he or she should be able to detect when such crime is about to go on. I'll quickly take a break, and when I come back, we'll talk more on this corruption going on in our country. Do not go anywhere. Stay with us.
RTV London, in partnership with NTA TV Enterprise, present the maiden edition of the Nigerian Week in the capital of the world, London. A wonderful blend of entertainment, business, and networking, displaying a wide range of art, national cash crop, financial product and services, and real estate. For huge extra opportunity in diaspora, look no further. The 36th state of the Federation, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian Film Corporation, and host of others will be in attendance. Date 15 to 21st of May 2023. Venue Lighthouse, Camberwell, Southeast London. For details, log on www.superiorradiotelevision.com/Nigerian Week or call +447 549 513 619 or +234 814 358 2856. The Nigerian Week, celebrating the best of Nigeria from the rest.
Break. We are still on the show, The State of the Nation. I use the word we because I know you're out there with me. I'm not alone in this. So we are on the show, State of the Nation. And today I've been talking about corruption. Of course, I had my guest earlier, Mr. Abraham, security professional and consultant. He actually said a lot in how deep this corruption has eaten into our economy, into our security, into our politics, and every other sector of our country, our great country, Nigeria. Of course, Nigeria is a very great country. Regardless, we've not experienced war, and we will not experience war despite the corrupt practices, despite everything. We will not experience war. But then we need to find a way to eradicate these corrupt practices from ourselves. As there's something my guest said earlier, actually, he said corruption, it's a change can actually start from you, and it can start from me. I think that should be the take home for today. Now, when you come, you say, what did I learn out of this program today? I'm saying to you, Patience OKOSUN is saying to you that change can actually start from you. You must not necessarily join them if you cannot beat them in this case. So earlier I spoke about the security agencies. They should be given proper training to be able to sense corrupt practices. Even before it takes place, they should be able to sense it, that this person wants to do this, this person is about to do this. I think there are things like that. We study them in school. Yes, you go to school and you study it and you just become an expert in your field. I hope that this corruption would forever leave Nigerians. So, like our caller actually said, he said it is impossible. There is no country that is not corrupt. Yes, there is no country, there is no place that is not corrupt. But then we shouldn't allow it become a norm in our midst. It shouldn't be a regular something. It shouldn't be a normal something. We should frown at corruption when we see one. Yes, and then before I went there, I wanted to talk about how we can fight corruption before I call the show a wrap for today. How can we fight corruption? Organize a committee to count and keep track of public supplies such as schools and textbook, economic materials, things we use. Now we should have a committee that watch over them, and those people must be reliable, people of integrity, people we can trust. Now those are the people that can actually fight against people that come to do wrong or so. So we need a committee. We need people like that more in the country. Coordinate a special event that the community can participate in to raise awareness of corruption. Now these are ways we need to go out there. We need to cry out. We need to let people know that if you do this, you'll be punished with this. If you do this, you face such penalty. Now we need to create awareness. We need to go out there, tell the people that corruption, when you see this, you frown at it. It's actually a corruptible act. Most people out there do not know that dishonesty, like my caller said earlier, he said something as small as dishonesty is corruption. Now when you lie to somebody, when you cheat somebody, now somebody comes to your shop to buy Indomie. The Indomie is 200 naira for say, and then you sold that Indomie for 300 naira. It is corruption. That's how you deprive the person. You stealing from that person. It is corruption. Now things as little as that, people do not know that those are corruptible acts. Dishonesty, you lie to someone, you are actually in Maraba, you told somebody you're in Kubwa. That's actually corruption. You're not being honest, you're not being truthful. these little things are things that we call corruption. Now, the question I'm throwing out to you out there: are you corrupt free? Can you beat your chest and say, I am a Nigerian citizen, I am corrupt free, I will not get myself involved in this? That's where change starts from. And yes, I'm talking about ways we can fight corruptions, and then create a petition and take it to the decision makers. If in case you want anything to be placed in your society, you want them to do this to save lives or to stop corruption, now you have to place a petition and take it to the decisions makers. Actually, these things are very important. Now we really need all these things. Now the question next is, how can we reduce corruption in developing countries? We all know Nigeria is a developing country. Of course, we are a developing country. Now, my caller said earlier that it is impossible to stop corruption. Okay, agree. Then how do we reduce this corruption if we cannot stop it? Now, working with motivated leaders, people that will motivate you, people that will push you to do the right thing, that will put you in the right spot. Those are the people we need to work with. One of the ways to reduce corruption, working with motivated leaders, addressing key areas like health, very important. Then you go to the hospital, you just find out that most of the doctors, you'll be on the queue, you come and sit, they will give you a number, and then you just realize that somebody just walks in and walk past you and go straight to the doctor's room and he or she will be attended to. These are corruptible acts. Now we need to take key areas like health and education services delivery. Our education system is very important. We are smart people, we have smart Nigerians, but then because of corruptions, you find out they are traveling outside the country. Everybody wants to leave the country. Most especially this just concluded election actually broke the hope of many Nigerians. They feel like Nigeria can never be good again. They feel like Nigeria can never be corrupt free again. But I am saying to you today in this program that Nigerian can be corrupt free. Now we still have that hope. We still have that belief. Nigeria is our home. We know the jackpot. We will not go to anywhere. We'll all stay here and see that Nigeria becomes a place that everybody tomorrow will want to come back to and live. And then address our development of natural resources. Of course, Nigeria is blessed. We have a lot of resources, a lot of natural resources. Nigeria is blessed. Establishing accountability through oversight system and transparent decision making. Now, a lot of corruptible acts over the years I've noticed. Just see things like the government release so amount of money for so projects, and then when you look at that project, the project is not forthgoing, nothing is happening, but then a lot of money has been released on that project, and now that's where the oversight function comes in. And when you want to do something, you give it out to people, you bring them in and say, I've released so money for the building of this place. I need you to see that this place is actually built and completed. Now those people will watch out to see that that project is completed. Nothing hinders it. Those are the things we need to those are the ways how we can reduce corruption in our country. Now, before I call the show a wrap for today, let's quickly talk on how do you expose corruption? How do you expose corruption? Now, people are scared. Now, when they see something, like my guest said earlier, there's something they call see something, say something. Now, because you're scared, you feel Nigeria doesn't have the freedom of speech. You don't want to talk. You don't want to land yourself in trouble. Of course, I understand. I am also in Nigeria. I can tell your fear. I know your fear. But then how do you expose corruptible acts? How do you expose corrupt people? Now, these are the things that will bring you self-reporting. Now, you did something, you know it's wrong. Probably you bribed someone. Probably you did something that is wrong, any form of corruption, and then you can just, out of your own guilt, you can just go to the station or go and tell and report yourself that I did this, I feel guilty, I just want the punishment to be done, and you're free from that thing. Now, self-reporting. And then we also have citizen reporting. People can around you, if you don't know how to say it, like I say, tell the next person whom you know can say it, not just going around to broadcast it like a gossip gist. No, you tell someone whom you know can walk up there and say that thing. and you share it with that person, the person goes there and expose that corruptible action. Actually, journalism and media reporting. If you cannot say it, you cannot tell your next neighbor, come to the media house. The media house is the mouthpiece of the people. The media will research deep into that thing to make sure it is true and it's authentic before they broadcast it. So come to the media house and tell the person, the chief of so place collected 1 million. I think I heard of a case like that. Yes, I will not make mention of the place, but then they said the chief actually collected money from the people living around there to buy a transformer, to plant a transformer for them to be able to get light. But then after they all paid that money, they did not see any light, and nobody was able to come up to talk until somebody came to the media house to report the issue. Yes,